Welcome to French Conversations for Beginners. Learn everyday French from Janina, the language teacher, and Joël from France.
Bonjour Joël.
Bonjour Janina.
Ça va?
Ça va très bien et toi?
Oui, ça va. So in today's lesson, we're at a restaurant. But we're not actually at a restaurant, we're at our home in France. So I need to preface this by warning you that you may hear some chickens. So we've recently gotten some chickens just outside.
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell us the purpose of these chickens? Your mother's in the apartment next door.
Yeah, this big house. We've got 2 flats, and and mom wanted chicken forever, and
So
she's
but
happy.
she doesn't eat those. She doesn't eat these chickens.
No, she wants eggs, fresh eggs in the mornings,
And doesn't she also want them? Don't they eat?
and they eat
Everything.
everything, so that diminishes the amount of the garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So even though tonight, your episode today takes place at a fancy restaurant in Paris, you may hear chickens. Okay.
Yeah.
They're not the kind on your. You'll actually hear them. They're not on your plate. And we also have a lovely
Special guest.
special guest, mon beau-fils,
Yeah.
my stepson, Timothée. He was born here in France, Saint-Étienne. And we are out to have the privilege of being at a lovely restaurant with him. And before we get started, I should also tell you that Joël will be playing the role of the sommelier, which is not a stretch because,
It
For
used to be
years?
my job for 18 years, yeah.
yeah. All right, can you tell us a little bit about French sommeliers? What?
Sommelier, there's not really way to translate it. The only way to translate it is the wine waiter, but it's not very good, because the sommelier is not only the waiter who brings and pour the wines, he's the guy that often manages the cellar,
Mm-hmm.
ordering the wines, choosing the suppliers, responsible of the wine list and the cellar management.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are going to order from you, Monsieur Sommelier.
Okay.
Here we go.
Bonjour monsieur, vous avez choisi les vins?
Oui, nous voudrions un orangina pour monsieur et une demi de poulet foussé pour moi.
C'est parfait.
Eh bien, notre dîner s'annonce très bien. À propos, vous avez déjà mangé la tour d'argent?
Oui, j'y ai déjeuné une fois il y a 2 ans. C'est un restaurant formidable mais tellement cher.
Trop cher, vraiment. Je n'y ai jamais mangé. Un jour peut-être.
All right, so let's break it down. So the sommelier, how do you say that?
Le sommelier.
All right, and how do you say have you chosen?
Here I say vous avez choisi les vins,
Okay.
but if you get the question tone mark
Uh-huh.
at the end of the sentence, yeah, that's good. Otherwise, correct would be avez-vous choisi les vins?
And if you noticed, he said, "Good evening,
Bonsoir,
Mr."
monsieur.
But of course, I answered because Timothée is 10, so he's not going to choose the wines. Well, oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
How old are you, Timothy?
Quel âge as-tu?
11 ans.
Oui. Okay. So I answered for him, and I said, yes.
Oui.
We would like.
Nous voudrions un orangina.
You can't find that everywhere in the States, but
Can you?
not everywhere, but you can
Yeah.
find it. And so an orangina for,
Pour monsieur, for the young boy, for the
Okay.
young man.
and a half
Et une demi,
of poulet foussé for me.
et une demi de pouilly fussé pour moi.
And then you said it's perfect.
C'est parfait.
And then Pierre said, okay. Oh, good.
Eh bien,
Ah, eh bien.
And can you say this phrase, please, Joël? Or Timothée, will you say?
notre dîner s'annonce très bien.
And how exactly would you translate that to English? Our dinner.
That sounds
Sounds really
that
good.
the dinner is
Really
going
good.
good.
And then he said, by the way.
À propos, vous avez déjà mangé la tour d'argent?
Okay. But by the way is.
À propos,
And have you already eaten
vous avez déjà mangé
at the.
Tour d'Argent?
Okay, which is obviously a restaurant.
That's a really, really top level, one of the best restaurants in Paris. Yeah.
Okay. And I said yes. I ate there
Oui, j'y ai déjeuné
one time.
une fois.
Well, literally, I didn't say ate, I said had lunch. So let's say it again. I ate lunch there
J'y ai déjeuné
one time.
une fois.
And so I said 2 years ago.
Il y a 2 ans.
So to say ago, you just use the phrase
Il y a.
and then the time.
Yeah.
So how would you say a week ago?
Il y a une semaine.
A month ago?
Il y a un mois.
2 months ago?
Il y a 2 mois.
Okay, so that's easy. Il y a ago. Okay, and I said it's an awesome restaurant,
C'est un restaurant formidable,
but really expensive.
mais tellement cher.
And then Pierre said, too expensive, really.
Trop cher, vraiment.
Okay, and you said, I've never eaten there. I've never eaten there. I've never eaten there.
Je n'y ai jamais mangé.
Okay, and you said, one day, perhaps.
Un jour peut-être.
Okay. All right, so I have some more questions for you, Joël. So, how do you say to choose?
Choisir.
We want or we would like.
Nous voudrions.
And what's the verb to want?
Vouloir.
And how do you say by the way?
À propos.
How do you say really?
Vraiment.
How do you say once?
Une fois.
Well, that could also be one time, once. Someday or one day.
Un jour.
And too is in too much.
Trop.
And really or so, like so expensive, we said.
Tellement.
And seems or appears to be. The verb.
S'annoncer.
And how do you say to eat?
Manger.
And how do you say I ate?
J'ai mangé.
J'ai mangé. How do you say I ate there?
J'y ai mangé.
And the word there, there's a few ways to say there, but in this case,
It's the why.
why? And it's all mixed up in the word. So
Yeah.
I ate there.
J'y ai mangé.
Okay. And how do you say ago?
Il y a 2 ans.
Or 2 years ago?
Il y a 2 ans.
Okay, and then ago is il y a.
Il y a.
And then wonderful or great.
Formidable.
How about already?
Déjà.
How about to have lunch?
Déjeuner.
How about never?
Jamais.
And a half?
Une demi.
And a bottle.
Une bouteille.
Okay, so you told us about la Tour d'Argent. Where, can you name maybe 5 top restaurants in Paris that people might want to visit? Or 2, so you say Tour d'Argent?
Tour d'Argent, yeah, that's just by the Seine River, close to Notre Dame.
Okay.
On the left bank of the Seine River. Well, with unlimited budget, Ducasse,
Yeah.
the Plaza Athénée,
Okay.
un restaurant Ducasse.
Okay. What about some restaurants that are really accessible? What should people who are visiting Paris, what should they be looking for? I mean, I'm really lucky because I'm with you and you always know where to go. You know what's good. We've never had a bad meal. And the prices have always been reasonable.
Yeah.
But that's because I have you to
Yeah.
guide me. But imagine somebody's coming to Paris and they don't know it very well. What sort of places should they be looking for, or what specific places might you suggest?
Well, I've got a simple trick. Usually the guys selling organic wines, they take care about their wines, so they would take care of the food, about the food.
Okay.
So Yeah.
So you look for
There
that.
are loads of wine bars, and if you can focus on the guys selling organic wines, usually it's
So
good
they can
food.
look on. Usually the menus are posted outside. They're going to be around the corner. They're not going to be right in front of those tourist places. They're going to be
No.
just slightly around the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's a good
One
one.
of my favorite places is the Willy's Wine Bar
Mhm.
in near le Louvre, in the first arrondissement.
Okay.
Yeah, Mark Williamson is a legend, really.
Mark Williamson.
Yeah, he's
not
English.
French, yeah.
He's Englishman in Paris, but he's been in Paris for 30 years. Yeah, I think he's one of the guys at the origin of the famous tasting 40 years ago now, where the American wines were on top of the French wines.
Really.
There was a blind tasting in California.
Really.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah, Mark is a legend. He's tasted everything. He knows every winemaker. He knows his wines. He's a legend. He's a true restaurateur.
All right. So if you were to tell people who, I know it can be really intimidating to, a lot of times in the States, well, we have good choices of wine, but we've got someone that people are going to understand. Explain it to them if they so want, or it'll be on the menu. So somebody visiting Paris, apart from, Rouge or Blanc, what are some great accessible sort of wines that people will see on a menu, a few reds and a few whites, just so that they're familiar with?
Just ask the sommelier or the owner of the wine bar. If you go to a wine bar, they know their
Say
job.
what? What should they ask?
What do you want? Light-bodied red or full-bodied red
In French,
or
could you
something
give us
fresh?
a sentence? Could you give us a sentence to ask?
Well, if you want something light-bodied, you ask for a rouge léger,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, or a
Right.
bit fuller. Un rouge avec du corps,
Okay.
bodied.
All right. Let me ask you another question. So back to, I mentioned Pouilly Fussé, which it's fairly
white
well known.
Burgundy.
So can you tell us the three well known reds that people might be able to see on a menu, commonplace, that you could think of that would be not the equivalent of Pouilly Fussé, but you understand what I'm asking. So the
Reds. In Paris, they drink a lot of Saumur in the Loire Valley.
okay.
Saumur, Chinon from the Loire Valley. Beaujolais is very popular.
Yeah.
All the cru from the Beaujolais. Morgon, Chenas,
Okay.
Moulin à Vent.
And how about 3 or 4 whites that people can look out for on a menu?
Macon,
Mhm.
that's a big hit.
Yeah.
I know someone who loves it.
That's me.
Macon, Viognier from the Rhône Valley,
Mhm.
from the higher northern Rhône Valley, the Viognier, and yeah, once again in the Loire Valley, something a bit sweet, Coteau de l'Aubance or Coteau du Léon.
Okay.
Yeah, if you eat some foie gras,
Nice.
Coteau du Léon.
Foie gras isn't. Where was it banned? Where was foie gras banned? You
It's
told
banned
me
in California.
you can't have it in California.
No.
It's
Animal
it's
rights
considered by
activists.
animal
Yeah.
cruelty by a lot of people, but
Yeah.
you'll certainly. We just came back from the supermarket, and there was certainly
A lot.
plenty
a
of it
lot.
there.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for teaching us about wine, and merci beaucoup Timothée pour dîner avec moi. And we'll see you next time. À la prochaine.
Merci, bonne journée.
Merci, au revoir.
For more resources on learning and teaching languages, to get on our mailing list, or to get the workbook for this course, be sure to visit reallifelanguage.com/reallifelanguageblog. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe and leave a rating.